So now we're going to start the second section of the flow form. Okay, there's 5 sections of the flow form. We've already done the first section, and while I'm teaching you the second section in this set of videos, we're not gonna go back to the first section. Yeah, so if you want to develop that section, go back to those videos, look at them where you need help, go through it there. The second section will only be working on the second section. Third, fourth, fifth, likewise. So we begin the second section where we ended from the first section. It was step 26 in the first section. Yeah? So this is the last movement of the first section, the cross hands position. But what we're going to do now is we're going to start the numbers again. So I number individually the sections. So each section starts from 1 again. Okay? And for this video, we're just going to do the first 3 steps. Cross hands position. So this is the start. Weight in the left leg. Now we're going to step into the right leg, but the right foot will face to the corner. So it's going to step toward the left corner, and the hands are just going to relax down to the quad. Okay, right in this line into the quad. So not back, but here. All the way into the right leg. Remember, keep the hips down like you've done before. We shouldn't have to talk so much about the base now because it should be quite clearly within your body. So we do that again. Start of the second section. 1 to the corner. Now notice how in that position my elbows are out. They're not collapsed in. They're nice and open. We're facing the corner. We feel big. The second step. Left foot is going to turn to this corner. So we go this corner, then this corner. Okay? Actually, throughout the whole movement, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. All to the corners. Okay? For these first 3 steps of the second section. 1. Now 2. We step with the left leg to the other corner, and the left hand is going to get drawn up. Comes around and is drawn up. It is in line with the ear. So it's not in front of the ear. It's not behind. I mean, the ear is a reference point. It can be slightly ahead, but it doesn't want to be too far in front. It doesn't want to be collapsed. And what I mean by collapsed is the elbow joint doesn't want to just fold off. Okay, like we were talking about in the first section, your chi is gathered. Your chi is stimulated and the spirit is gathered within. And with that stimulation, with the chi stimulated, with the shin gathered within, we feel alive in every part of the body. So as soon as we collapse the joint, we lose that. So we have to keep that aliveness. So it's nice and open. And this will come up from the turning of the hips. So as the hips turn, the big turning all the way to the corner, it creates this movement to draw up the arm. Yeah, so it's completely synchronized with the base. With the right hand, you've moved away from it. You actually move away from it, but it turns in. And it turns in to protect the groin. Okay, a big part of martial arts, you want to be protecting this area. Okay, doesn't mean you're touching the area, you're protecting it. So this is the second movement to the corner. Start again. 1, 2. Now the third movement. With the right leg to the back corner. So that's easy. It's an easy step. Difficult thing is what happens with the arms, but let's just get the legs in position to start with. So you're going to turn to the corner, back corner. But this is not the end of the movement. Once we come to the back corner, then we're going to continue to turn a little bit further, more toward the back wall. Okay, and the turning will come from the hip, not from the shoulders, but from the hip. I'll do it once more this way, and then I'll turn around to face you so you can see what's actually going on. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I'll do it facing the opposite way, so you start to see what happens in the third movement. I'll do it in different directions. Yeah. Start 1 to the corner, 2 to the opposite corner, then 3 with the right leg, stepping. The hands come to the center line. So when you face the corner, the back corner, right hand is facing in toward the dantian. Remember, the dantian is 2 fingers below the navel, further in. Your energy storage center. This must be full, must be strong. Left hand in the center line, about chest height. Yeah, so it's not out here. So as you've turned in, it's come in. The base has led the body, body has brought the arm in. But that's not the final position of the arms. The final position is we turn a little bit further, and as we turn, the right hand turns up. It still stays in line with the center, but it turns up. Yeah? And when you do this turning, when you've done it with the stepping, the knee doesn't pull back. Yeah? If the knee pulls it back, the hip will come up, your coccyx will come out, you lose your alignment. So the turning comes in the hip. The knee basically is staying where it is, but you're getting the spiraling of the thighs. So the thighs have the spiraling. This helps stretch. When you do this, this helps stretch the ligaments and tendons within the hips, within the knees. Okay? What's very important in Tai Chi is that you look after the health of your knees, particularly. Some of us have a tendency to go too low. And when we go too low, we put too much pressure in the knee. If you're very flexible, it's not such a problem. But when you're going low and you're doing this, where you're pulling out your coccyx, it can be a little bit too much. And you can easily go further than what your body wants and easily hurt your body. The other important thing, is the knees are always aligned with the direction of the foot. So even if you turn a different direction like we're doing now, the turning is coming from the hips, but the knee is essentially staying in the same position. This movement is healthy for the knee because it stretches the ligaments and the tendons. Okay, it stretches the fascia, and you start to developing the spiral connectivity within the body. When you're going down, like the first movement, the very first movement, you don't want to drop the knees like so. If you drop the knees forward and your body goes forward, then what happens is all this excess pressure of your body, all the body weight comes in and under the knee, particularly if you haven't relaxed the feet first. So instead of doing that, where you're not taking any demand on the thighs, what you want to do is you want to feel that you're sitting down. Okay, it just feels like you're going to sit on something. And the feeling is somewhat like that the knee goes forward, the hip goes back. And in that, you stretch not only the ligaments and tendons, but you stretch the muscle. And this can make the muscle tired, the thighs. It can make the muscles sore, tired. And this is generally why we just start falling into the knee afterward. Okay, because the thighs are tired. To do this is easy on the thighs, bad for the knees. To do this, it's more difficult on the thighs, but far, far better for the knees, the health of the knee. You'll feel the joint open, as it should. It's a pivot joint. Okay, and more pressure, more stretching will be involved around the hip area. This is what we want to work. This is what we want to develop. And this is the same in the third position of the second section. Remember, and if your knees are sore, come up quite high. Not straight, but quite high. You only have to soften your hips enough that your coccyx goes straight down and this area is nice and soft for turning. That's all. You don't have to drop yourself in too much. Yeah, be careful with your knees. So let's do that again, but now I'm going to do it facing this way. Okay? Start of second section. 1 to the corner. 2, other corner. 3, the back corner. Watch what my hands do. Turning. So you're turning further than the corner. Yeah? That's all it is. With the stepping, if I do it again from this side so it's easier to see. 1, step to the corner. Just a small step to the corner to get the angle. 2, step back to the other corner. Also another small step. 3, then you turn it to the back corner. Okay, then you turn it to the back corner where you can turn further. They don't have to be really big steps. If they're too big, what happens if you watch me, if my step is too big, you start to bend in your structure. Yeah, if you come around, you start to move in funny, unnatural positions. So only do your step big enough to keep your structure in place. Okay, I'll do it one more. From the normal position, from our starting position. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the end of the first part of the second section. We'll start with the second part soon. The second section will take a little bit quicker. It will be a little bit quicker than the first section. Why it's a little bit quicker is because a lot of these positions will be repeated. So you'll know them and it'll be quite easy to learn. Generally, first section takes the longest and then it gets quicker and quicker and quicker because your body knows what to expect, but also positions are repeated quite often through the form.